Now, Delhiites were breathing toxic air on Diwali with air quality plunging to severe levels. On Sunday, toxic smoke from firecrackers filled the Delhi air in many pockets of the national capital region. Now, this morning at Delhi's Lodi Road, the PM 2.5 levels were at 500. That's in the severe category. Well, let's go across to Divya Vadhva for more, who's been tracking all these developments. Now, Divya, this year we've had many steps taken to, ensure cleaner air, and especially ahead of Diwali, the Delhi government pushing for the laser show, asking Delhiites not to burst crackers and pushing for green crackers. Are we saying it's had no impact at all?
Well, Gargi, a very good morning. Yes, I was very impressed by Delhiites till about 7 o'clock last evening when I didn't hear a single cracker. But post 7 o'clock, the crackers started, and actually I went around my colony to see if the people were only using green crackers. I did see a lot of boxes on the roads which had green crackers, but there were other crackers that you could hear. As green crackers, there were only two varieties, which is the anar and the pulchari, which don't really make a sound. Once heard those crackers, one felt those crackers, and if we can just see the skyline this morning, of course, earlier the situation was even worse off. The winds are helping the pollutants disperse, but pollution levels reached the severe category yesterday. Certain areas like Anand Vihar, where pollution was 60 times the safe limit, and in RK Puram the situation was about 42 times. And there we have other areas where the situation was even worse. So between 12 o'clock to about 6 o'clock in the morning is when the peak of the pollution levels is felt in the national capital on the night of Diwali. So we did see there was no change whatsoever in the pollution count. They still went up more than 1700 points in certain areas, and which is why there's been no lesson learnt. Of course, many people refrain from bursting crackers or at least using green crackers, but the little minority that did burst those crackers, it has resulted in Delhi's air again to be badly affected. What we're expecting today is that the situation will remain the same. It will be in the severe category, and from tomorrow the situation will start to improve drastically, and that is because of the weather conditions. Even the farm fires have increased from 1200 in the last 48 hours. They've gone up to 2700, and the contribution of the farm fires has also increased. So we have all these multiple factors coming in. Of course, they were saying, the SAFAR was forecasting that if firecrackers are only 50% of last year, then we would have the pollution go into the severe category. Also, we're expecting pollution levels, and when we compare it to the last 5 years, it's going to be similar to 2017. They're expecting post-Diwali pollution to be the least in the last 3 years. That's what SAFAR's forecast has been saying. Also, the fact that pollution would be 50 times lesser, 50% lesser than what it was in 2018. So we've been told about the weather conditions, we've been told about the green crackers making a huge impact and a huge difference, but you can see that there is no difference as far as the pollution levels are concerned. Yes, visibly it does look slightly better, it does feel slightly better, but the numbers have yet to come. The average of the pollution within the last 24 hours will tell us the exact situation in the national capital, Gargi. But yes, very good initiative by the government to start the laser show, to ban the green crackers, but more steps needed, and we just hope this is a start to the Diwalis ahead, which will be actually cleaner, because this is something that we just can't afford to do to our lungs.
Right, Divya, one has to say that this year at least, usually every year in the run-up to Diwali also you have lots of firecrackers being burst even in the days ahead. This year I have to say I didn't really experience that, didn't really hear that till on Diwali day there were firecrackers being burst. Also steps that can be taken by municipalities. There's water sprinkling happening in East Delhi. That step was taken yesterday, and so you're saying we'll have to wait and see as to what the average pollution level is to know if it was any way comparatively better than last year.
Exactly, Gargi. In fact, I spoke with the fire department, and they're saying 250 calls were made as far as fire incidences in Delhi are concerned. Is that figure lesser than last year? Well, I'm going to go across to the fire department to find out if they're lesser or equal in number. So we are seeing that there have been incidences of fire in the national capital. When I was driving to work, I did see a fire ambulance rushing to a certain site. So the situation is not really improved, but yes, there is a lot of improvement as far as the awareness is concerned. A lot of people are aware. A lot of children who I spoke to said they don't want to burst crackers. They're being taught very well in school. They're being made aware. But that little section that does want to burst crackers have managed to procure these crackers from our towns which are out of Delhi. So especially from Uttar Pradesh, from Meerut, they have managed to get those firecrackers. And again, we did see a lot of that post 7 p.m. Last evening, and they went on till about 12 o'clock last night. And from 12 o'clock, the pollution levels, along with the traffic that comes in, and of course the farm fire contribution, again pollution levels went up more than 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, going up to more than 1,700 points in certain areas of the national capital. So the situation hasn't really improved, and there was also a survey that was taken by Indian Circles amongst 36,000 Indians, where almost 64% said they won't be bursting crackers this time around. But the area of Ghaziabad, which was where most residents of Ghaziabad said they really do want to burst crackers. So there's a lot of disparity amongst the different areas of Delhi. So there's certain pockets which really wanted the crackers, most areas, most children, and we also have that ban coming about because the pollution levels, this is not the worst, Gargi. The pollution levels are going to get even worse in November because the weather conditions are going to get colder, which means pollution levels are going to increase. The farm fires will continue, and as you're seeing, the farm fires are only increasing. Along with that, the situation as far as the weather is concerned, the forecast says in November pollution is going to be at its peak with no difference from what it was last year.